When a ripe fruit sees a honest man, it drops by itself. Always be wise. Now, welcome back to Havana Media. My name is Boniface Owino, and I'm going to be your host as usual. I've just received the news here about RAILA'S bid for AU job. And luckily enough, it's going to be enjoyable for Kenyans and also for Africans, and also those who have been supporting RAILA'S bid towards being the chairman of African Union. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because according to the news, or according to the proposals that, or according to the proposals that were made, and the disqualifications, maybe those the things that people were talking about, that the qualification RAILA is not qualified here and there, they have been nullified, and now there are some of the 4 things that the AU have come up with. But before that, there's a point to note that I want us to start looking at this angle. During the visit of Obasanjo, when he came to Kenya, just after the meeting of the 3 of them, Obasanjo together with Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto, when they met in Mombasa. Now, Obasanjo came again, and there is a statement that he made, and from there, I think that is the day that Raila Odinga declared his bid towards the African Union, being the next chairman of African Union. And I want us to listen to what Obasanjo said, and then we'll continue from there. Listen.
And we be looking. We need a person, man or woman, who has experience, who understand the situation we are in, who comes from a background that can make a difference, and of course that consultation means now the people that I, from my own understanding of the situation and what I know of Africa, haven't been involved with Africa for more than 5 decades. What sort of people? Some time ago, I was one of those who midwifed, because we believe that people who have held the position of head of government, either at the prime minister level or at the presidential level, will be able to knock at the door of incumbent prime ministers and presidents without much ado.
Now, after listening to that, now let us jump into our main topic of discussion. Why am I saying that Raila is going to be the next chairman of African Union? Or why do I have this feeling? Or it's not a feeling, like, but it's true that Raila is going to be the chairman of African Union. Now, let me just read for you something here. Updates on the election process of the chairperson, deputy chairperson, and commissioners of the African Union Commission. The Permanent Representative Committee, that is PRC, has agreed on the following recommendations, and which will be incorporated in the draft decision to be represented to the Executive Council. First of all, we have to ask ourselves, who is PRC? That is the Permanent Representative Committee. The Permanent Representative Committee. There are some of the things that they've discussed here. Okay, as you can see, there are four draft decisions that have been represented to the Executive Council by the Permanent Representative Commission, that are going to either make Raila Amolo Odinga the chairman of African Union, or make any other person the chairman of African Union. But more so, looking at it this way, Raila Amolo Odinga is automatically going to be the chairman of African Union. Why am I saying this? Now, I want us to look at these step by step. Step number 1, or the draft number 1 that these people are talking about. I want us to start by number 1. Number 1 is talking about interregional rotation. The PRC agreed on approach 2, option B, which means that Eastern Africa region will be eligible to nominate candidates for the position of chairperson, while the Northern Africa region will be eligible to nominate candidates for the position of the deputy chairperson. Initially there was this issue of the area that have never produced either chairperson or assistant chairperson, that was Northern Africa, and automatically it was giving them chance to give out their person as the chairman, which will be a very big challenge to Raila Amolo Odinga, and automatically it will disqualify him from being the chairman of African Union. I want us to look at this way. Coming back to Eastern Africa, why am I saying that Raila is in a very good position of being the chairman of African Union? In Eastern Africa, all the countries that are in Eastern Africa have agreed and have shown their support towards Raila Amolo Odinga. Look at Uganda. Uganda already, Museveni said by himself that is the one going to propose Raila Amolo Odinga. So automatically in Uganda there is no one who is going to bid for the position. Looking at Tanzania, Samia also said that she's going to support Raila. So automatically Tanzania, even Jakaya Kikwete that people are thinking is not going to vie for the post. Okay. Looking at DRC, people like Paul Kagame have said that they're going to support Raila. Rwanda cannot produce because the sitting assistant chairperson of African Union is Madam Monica, and Madam Monica is coming from Rwanda. So automatically Rwanda cannot produce anybody to be the chairman. Okay, there's this woman who is coming from Somalia, but there is no vibrancy. The vibrancy comes whereby she's not even shown the interest by going to the countries. She has not even been supported either by the Kenyan president, by Tanzanian president, Ugandan president, or even by the DRC president. In short, Raila is the only person that the Eastern Africa have decided that they're going to support. So that is number one. Number two is the inter-regional rotation should be based on regional consultation and not on English alphabetical order. Now, initially, they were saying that they will consider alphabetical order, whereby, in case they considered alphabetical order, and already they had decided that Eastern Africa is going to produce either chairman or assistant chairman. Looking at it alphabetically, we have got Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Uganda, Somalia, Ethiopia. Now, looking at that, automatically Burundi is in the forefront alphabetically. So Burundi was going to produce the person to bid for the chairmanship. But now they've changed the commission. The PRC have changed that, and they will say that it will not be an alphabetical consideration, but it will be about regional consultation, whereby we have to consult all the regions. In which we've seen Raila doing that. Raila have gone to Uganda, Raila have gone to Tanzania, Raila have gone to DRC, Raila have gone to all, and even Kenya have supported. So it means that Raila have occupied all the regions that can support, or looking at it regionally, Raila already is there with the regional votes. So talking about that, I think that is the second thing that is giving Raila a very big chance of being the chairman of African Union. Instead of looking at it alphabetically, they're looking at it regionally. And you have to consult, all the regions have been consulted, and they have to agree. If all these regions have agreed that they're going to support Raila, automatically Raila has got no one who's going to be against him. That is number two. Number three thing of rotational gender parity, which says the PRC agreed on an application of gender rotation in the application of principle of rotation gender parity. The PRC position aligns with the Kenyans' interpretation of this principle. Thus, both Eastern and Northern Africa regions are at liberty to nominate candidates of either gender for the post of chairperson and deputy chairperson respectively in the AUC election 2025. There was this thing that the gender consideration, the gender rotation must be considered, because right now MOUSSA FAKI is a man. So they were saying before that, they were saying that the person who is supposed to come next should be a woman. Being that this is a man, there should be a woman now who should come and replace him. But I remember when President William Ruto, they were in a meeting, he raised an issue, and they say that being that it's now the time of Eastern Africa to produce to produce their candidate or to give out their candidate. It's now their time to choose by them. They should be left to choose by themselves the candidate they want, whether man or a woman. And automatically, Raila has been chosen. Raila has been chosen by the African Union. You see, the statement says very well that the PRC position aligns with the Kenyans' interpretation of this principle. Which principle? Principle of rotational gender parity. The Kenyans say that no, it's time for Eastern Africa. The people of Northern, Central, or Southern Africa should not choose for us the person that we want. So it's upon us, Eastern African people, to look for someone, either man or a woman, who is going to vie for the post of African Union or chairmanship. And now that is why now William Ruto came and supported Raila. Why? So are you seeing now Raila is in a very big position, a very good position of being the chairman of African Union? The last one is the allocation of commissioners' portfolios, which says the six commissioners' posts will be open for competition by candidates nominated by the 3 remaining regions: Central, Southern, and Western Africa. So there are normally 8 positions. That is, now we have got the chairman, assistant chairman, and all the other 6. Automatically, the chairmanship is coming from Eastern Africa, and then assistant chairman is going to come from Northern Africa. So it means that the remaining 6 positions are going to be held by the other, either Central, Southern, and Western Africa. So I think those are the things that are making Raila to be in a very big position of being the chairman, the next chairman of African Union coming 2025 after MOUSSA FAKI. On these, or based on this, because this is something that has been prepared. In politics, there is nothing that happens, or there is nothing like trial and error. I want to tell you something, that in politics, there is nothing like trial and error. And we are seeing it here. The moment Raila Amolo Odinga decided or said that he's going to vie for the position of African Union, he had already known what was going to happen. And even Obasanjo coming here to Kenya and saying that they have considered, they've sat down and considered by themselves that Raila Amolo Odinga is the person in a better position to be the next chairman of African Union. Why do you think he was saying that? And whom did he consider? Now, the big question should be this: who is this guy, or who is the person behind all these things to ensure that all the things that have been were done before there are changed so that Raila Amolo Odinga becomes the chairman of African Union? Who is the person behind all this? For me, I have only 2. I think I have 2 people. Now, for me, I have 2. And my question is this: why would Obasanjo just decide to come to Kenya and talk about Raila Amolo Odinga being the chairman of African Union? Why? So number 1, this force is either coming from a superpower. This force is either coming from one or 2 superpower countries, whereby we have got US inside there and Britain. It must just come from superpower countries, because we can't say that Obasanjo just woke up in the morning, early one morning, and decided to, okay, now African Union is going to need another chairperson. Let me go to Kenya and talk to Raila Amolo Odinga to see whether he'll vie for the post or not. He did not do that. They must. Okay, why couldn't he even go to Kagame? And there is something that he has said. There is a statement that Obasanjo said at the beginning of the video, when he's saying that they considered and they realized, or they considered and made a decision that there are only 2 people that can be allowed to vie for the position of the African Union. It's either you've been the president, or it's either you have served as the president, or you have served as the prime minister. How many prime ministers have we had in this continent? That is another question that we should ask ourselves. How many presidents have we had, or how many prime ministers have we had in this? So I'm giving you time at the comment section so that you can also tell me what you're thinking, or what is your view, and why did Obasanjo come to Kenya? Who sent Obasanjo? And who do you think is behind all these things that is making Raila Amolo Odinga to become the next African Union chairmanship? But on my behalf, on behalf of Havana Media, and on behalf of a few Kenyans who believe that Raila is going to be the chairman of African Union, I want to wish Baba a very successful journey of being the chairman of African Union, because He didn't make it to be the president of Kenya, but now he's going to make it to be the chairman of African Union. Well done, Baba. Congratulations. And may God bless you. Bye-bye.